The following program is rated GE. It is suitable for general family viewing.
Hi and welcome to another episode of The Grind. My name is Violet Njeri and today it's Women in Business. We're appreciating how women are getting up the ladder in the business industry. And where I am today, it's not quite evident that you could find a woman doing this kind of business, but she is, and she's prospering at it. But I'm going to let her explain it to you herself so that she can tell you, elaborate exactly what it is that she does, why she does it, and how she got to do it. Welcome.
Thank you.
Please introduce yourself to us and tell us what you do.
My name is Njeri. I'm in the manufacturing industry, basically in construction.
Yeah. Tell us exactly what you do when it comes to manufacturing. What are you manufacturing?
I deal in manufacturing of precast products and cabros. I have a variety of products, but basically under the umbrella of precast products. Yeah.
Precast. When you say precast, it's a whole thing or just one item in itself?
It's a whole thing. It's like an umbrella because there are so many things under precast. Most of the things that people have that are already made in construction, say something like paving blocks, that is what we call precast. It's already prepared, then it's used in construction still. Yeah.
I know you didn't know that, but anyway. So tell me, how were you able to start this business?
When I started this business, this was not my initial profession. Yeah, I'm a HR by profession. But now I
fire watu na kuandika watu. Yes.
Yeah, but I got interested in the construction industry. Currently, where we are in Kenya, self-employment is booming. So I thought I'd try my hand in self-employment. I dealt in construction. I went into construction because of my husband. He's an engineer. He's a civil engineer. So he enticed me into the business. Yeah. And so far, so good.
You've been able to catch up and everything.
Yeah.
How long have you been doing this business?
We've been in this business for the last 3 years.
3 years? But you've built quite the fort here.
Yeah, it's been a lot of hard work and diligence. Yeah.
So tell me about your financial startup. What was the capital that you were able to get when you were starting here?
Okay. Initially, we started in 2019 around March. So we started with, when you talk about the capital, I'll talk about the machine. I started with that small machine. It cost me around 2 million plus import and all the custom duties. And I used around 1 million in the site setup. So I'll talk of around an estimate of 3 million in the startup.
To build it up?
Yes.
Did you start small or when you bought your machine, you just started, boom, start?
No, I started small. As I've told you, I was not in the...
Yeah, you did not know actually
so
what you were starting.
So I had a lot to learn. I had let me say I started small. Because with that machine, I didn't have that much knowledge in what really manufacturing of precast products was. But with the help of my husband, as I've said, I got to learn. I started with a small machine. I had a labor force of around 5 people, which has grown to, I do have around 20 people now. Yes, and I also had a small space that I was using. Now I've expanded and I'm expanding more behind there. And I can say it's been good.
Why did you opt to import your products and not buy locally?
When you talk of the imports, if you compare with what is in the ready market in Kenya, the cost is so much higher when it's in Kenya. But when I import, having calculated everything in the import duties, the customs, everything plus. Okay, I think it's much cheaper. It is much cheaper.
The local products are proving to be a bit expensive.
Yes.
So when you're making the precast products, you deal with the cabros and the bricks as well?
Yeah.
Why did you opt only for those and not these other construction materials?
Actually, it's wide. With the machinery, we use it for the cabros and the blocks. But we also have these other molds that we use for the handmade precast. Things like paving slabs, the concrete fencing posts. We use also those, but they are not made by the machines. We use the molds.
It has a mold that brings it out. Did you ever see I think this is bringing in more profit than this product that you were favorable, like maybe to the cabros and the bricks other than to the other molds?
I think the reason I'm favorable to the bricks, it's because of the market. So right now, I think in this area, past Makutano and not in Njeri, I'm the only one with such a manufacturing farm. Okay, let me call it a farm. But So you see the market, the ready market is what has made it possible for me to just capitalize mainly on the cabros because the demand is high. Sometimes I'm not even able to meet the supply. So I think that's why I base majorly on the cabros. Yeah, and the blocks.
What is the process of making these cabros and these blocks that you make and bring out these beautiful pieces of bricks?
So we start with the raw materials. With the raw materials, we use quarry dust, we use ballast, we use river sand, and we use cement. We do, you have to have ratios, because the cabros are in different sizes. So the measurements that we use for each and every one of them. With the materials, you have to be very particular with the raw materials if you want to get the perfect blocks. Yeah. So we really check on the suppliers, especially for the raw materials, where we're getting them. And that is majorly what is used for the cabros. Yeah, for the raw materials that you've been getting, how is the price when it comes to getting those materials? Is it expensive to you when you're making these bricks? That is also seasonal. The raw materials, the market for the raw materials is seasonal. Like there's a time when you'll get the quarry dust at a very good price, but there are times when it goes high. Like now it's high. With the construction of the Nairobi-Njeri highway, it's now expensive because part of the raw materials you're using are being used there.
Is also the same one being used.
Yeah. So you see, with the people who are manufacturing, they tend to interrupt the flow. Yeah. So of course the prices get to vary.
Yeah. So you've talked about the machine that you started with. This machine that is behind us here, is it the same one?
It's not the same one. The small one gave birth to this one. With that machine, it was okay until I could no longer meet the demand. So I opted to invest more, get a bigger machine, try to capture the market. And it's been helping. That one gave birth to this big one.
So tell me exactly what this machine does and how it works.
Okay. So we batch the raw materials here. As I've mentioned, the quarry dust, the cement, the ballast, and the river sand. So it's brought up by the hopper to the mixing pan. Then from the mixing pan, it goes up by the elevator belt to the machine. So from here, the control panel is what works from here.
This is what controls everything?
Yes. This is what controls everything. So it will load, it will compact, and it will dispatch it to the final product comes here. And all this is electric? Yes.
They say electricity is a bit expensive even in Kenya. How have you been able to deal with that?
The cost is high. The electricity cost is high. So what happens is usually with these machines, you just have to do a lot of calculation on how you get the final product when it is okay, and you also check on the cost of production. So electricity is high, but we do manage.
Yeah. And how many products, or rather how many pieces is this belt able to put out after one roll maybe?
After one roll, depending on the size, it has an average of 110 to 130 pieces of cabro per bag.
110 to 130?
Yes.
And do you ever get those that are broken down?
Yes, we do get a lot of waste. So at the machine, when there's waste, it's easier for you to put it back in the mixing pan, then it's recycled. But once it starts drying, it becomes waste. We recycle it in some other way. Yeah.
So when this only makes the bricks?
Yeah, it has a variety of molds. So we get to change depending on what we're making. So it can make 3 designs of cabros, 2 sizes of each. And it also makes the hollow blocks and the hollow pots. So it has a variety of around 7-8 molds that I get to change depending on the product that we manufacture.
As much as this is electric, how many people work on it?
So for it to get maximum productivity, it requires 8 people.
8?
Yes.
Okay, one is loading the sand and everything?
3 of them at the mixer, and it needs 1 here, and it needs 4 at the dispatch. Yeah.
With the people that you've employed right now, did you have to teach them to do this business, or did they come with the knowledge that they know to make this business?
Some of them come with the knowledge, but usually you have to teach them because the machines are different, the technology is different. So you'd find that that machine and this machine can come from the same company, but the technology is different. So you have to train them. There are a lot of trainings from the production to safety. We do a lot of trainings to our new staff during the induction, before they get into the job.
How long does that training take?
It's not long. For the machine, it takes time because you need to practice. and you need to get everything right, plus the settings and everything. But with everything in general, I'd say 2 weeks is usually enough.
Yeah, so with the bricks that you make and the cabros that you make in a day, how are you able to price them and say, this, I'll price them in this much, this goes for this?
The pricing is basically based on the raw materials. And just as I said, the cost of production will depend on the raw materials, the labor, and the electricity, such. That is what we use to base the cost of production. So depending on the production that day, we'll calculate what we've produced and what materials we've used and what we expect back. That's how we get to know the pricing.
Does the pricing consider the fact that I can buy one brick at this? One brick will maybe say 5 shillings a ton, or does that factor come in? Yeah,
it does factor, because if your order is higher, then we can consider how much time I need to make it, how much it will cost me. When it's a higher order and a smaller one, of course the basics vary. Yeah.
So when it comes to clientele, how have you been able to get your clients that you're able to supply with these products that you make?
Okay. With my clientele, I basically get them through contractors. Marketing is my major catch on the clientele, but usually the contractors also help us, because those are the people who will come and check what product you have and refer you to their bosses who will buy. Yeah? So we use the contractors, we use the fundis, but we also do a lot of marketing. There are times when we'll decide that we are closing down for, like, not really closing down, but toning down on the production just to market and get a higher clientele. But it's also seasonal. There are times when there's a higher market, and there are times when it's a bit slow. So we do manage.
Yeah. So when we have this clientele, do you have a process that you go through when they want to make payment? Is it like a deposit based, or do you pay the whole amount so that you can get all your products?
Say you make an order today. I'd have to get a deposit of up to 50%, because that will help me in the production. When you get me the deposit, the other payment you'll make upon delivery. So I'd need to run the machines, I'd need to buy the raw materials, I'd need to pay my staff. So I'd need capital to run that time before I'm through with your production, so that you can pay me on delivery.
Have you ever gotten a client that is like so hectic, they've paid or they don't want to pay, but they've gone with the product? Have you ever been in that situation?
Yes, that used to happen before I got the hang of the business. Initially, that used to happen, until now I had to come up with some protocols like cash on delivery. Before the product leaves the site, you have to have cleared whatever you owe me, because you would have to follow people so much. And say a client is from Meru, I'd be making all those trips to and fro just to ask for the cash. So what we decided on a policy, like you do 50% before, then you do 50% upon delivery. Before you leave sites. I'm
learning quite a lot about the manufacturing industry from a woman, if I may say. Not a lot of women are in this industry, but we're going to take a short break, and we'll be right back with more about this amazing business. See you soon.
Ability is common in everyone. Those abled differently also have immense ability.
Maybe we are not good in both, but we can be good in life.
They reach beyond the limits in their special, different way.
If the society can just be careful in what they call them and how they refer to them, that would at least be better.
They need to be loved. They have feelings. They would like to give love. It's a natural thing.
Catch their story on Beyond the Limit on TV 47 every Saturday at 7:30 p.m. The home of untold stories.
Welcome back to The Grind. For those who are not here, my name is Violet Njeri. We've been talking to the CEO of Nguvu Precast, a lady who has flourished, if I may say, in the manufacturing industry. And she's going to tell us more exactly how she's been able to navigate this amazing business and this amazing industry. So Caroline, you told me that you make a number of bricks, a number of cabros, and I've seen different varieties. Is it that you make different types, or what is the game?
We do have different designs. Talk of designs, we have the quad cabros, the interlocking cabros, and the galaxy cabros. It's just a matter of the design, but with the density and everything, it's all the same.
Everything else is the same apart from the designs. Is there a recommendation for maybe if you're building roads, if you're building?
Yes. Yeah, we have the 80mm one that is used for heavy commercial. We call it heavy duty because it can be used in areas where there are heavy machinery operating.
Yes.
And there's also the 60mm that is more medium duty. It can be used in compounds, it can be used in pavements, such like places, yeah.
So we talked, in the first part, you talked a bit about marketing. Tell me how you've been able to market Nguvu Precast to be able to put it up there.
With marketing, I'd say currently, with my location, I've been able to market through word of mouth for one. Number two, we've been moving around. We do move around with pamphlets and everything with our various products. We do take them to places. Our market is basically Murang'a, Mwea, Kerugoya, Embu, and Meru. That is where our main market is. We're hoping to expand. But with the current market, we're able to go to places, we're able to use social media. Now with social media, it's easier for you to market your business.
Yes.
We also do go there are times when we schedule for marketing and we go to compounds, companies, and we do all this marketing. Yeah.
But even as you market yourself, there are other businesses as well that are competing with you. And there's competition in this industry. How do you deal with that competition?
Our major competition, to be honest, the big companies in Nairobi. Currently, we are the only ones around this region that are making the cabros. The other companies in Njeri.
You're the only one within Mwea
within Mwea, from Murang'a, Mwea, Meru, Embu, this area. Yeah, so I'm really working on getting that market. So our main competitors, let's say the big companies in Nairobi. But for now, I can say I'm managing with that region. I'm managing.
Yeah.
I can confidently say it's doing good.
You've been able to stand out.
Yes.
Yeah. So with the business, there's no business that lacks challenges. What are some of those that you faced, and maybe when you're in a point in your life, you're like, what are you busy by the way? What are those challenges? So
initially, when we were starting, the capital was our major challenge. You'd get a big order, but you don't have the working capital to get to clear the order and deliver. Yes. So the main challenge that we usually get, it's the working capital. There's an order that you will get, but having checked on finances, some of them it's a real challenge, but we struggle. So initially it was really hard, but we were able to get finances from family, friends, some institutions. So we've been able to get this far. I cannot say we are there yet because the orders are still coming in. Others are big. So we usually, right now we're working with what we manage, just that the main challenge, that's the working capital. Also with the staff, sometimes you get the challenge because you need people who are skilled differently.
To know what they're doing. Yeah.
Yes, and the other challenge is actually the staff turnover. So to maintain this staff that you've trained and have them stay there for longer, it's also a challenge. So you have to work on motivation, you have to work on trainings, you have to work on a lot.
Yes.
It's a lot, but I can say those are the two main challenges that we have.
You've talked about getting finances from institutions, maybe banks. Is there a process that you have to, or rather a position you have to be in for a bank to give you these finances to finance your business?
Yeah, because like with most banks, if it's sort of something like asset finance, you'll have to get some percentage for them to give you a particular percentage. So with also the duration I've been in business and with what I've been doing, it's also a challenge for some institutions to trust you with financing you and then you repay. But I can say so far, it's not been that hard, owing to the fact that the business has been growing and it's doing good. Yes.
3 years into the business, will you say that will you be able to rate the profit margin that you've been able to achieve since you started till now?
I would not be able to go into figures, but I would say it's been going up. Yes.
The percentage keeps rising. Yeah, that's quite interesting because maybe the people are like, hiyo ikai kuniletea pesa.
Yeah, you start small with the hope that you're going, you know, when you have a focus, you start small, the margins may be small, but if you have a vision, you know, you'll work towards getting those margins that you desire.
Yes.
So we've been growing, the margins have been going up, we're hoping for bigger market and better margins. Yeah.
So even with these margins as they rise, have you been able to do anything apart from manufacturing here? Has it been able to help you outside of this business?
Yeah, because right now, aside from this business, okay, although I am still thinking of expanding in the same precast business, but now I would really wish to go further. You know, there's a variety of products that people ask for that are just that can't just be made here.
Yes.
We do have other services, like with my husband being an engineer, we do design work, we do inspections, site inspections. If you're a customer, we go through the process of the site inspection, will help in consultation. So I'm looking forward to capturing that bigger market in that I can do all that and still deliver the product to the end.
With those 3 years, is there a point that you look at in business, you look back in business and you say, now this is why I did this business, this is why I started, that high point?
Yeah, okay, let me first talk of, you see, it's been 3 years, but you see the second year, with COVID and all, is a time when I almost gave up, almost closed doors. But the encouragement was this thing will pass and the market will still come up. So once there was this good report about like now we can be able to go out again, go hustle again, even with the COVID and all. There's that point when the market picked up, and I felt that I can't regret. Despite all the challenges, especially that second year, I can say there's a point when it reached and the orders were coming in so fast that I could not even take some, and I was like, I know I'm in the right business. Yeah.
With how the orders were streaming in.
Yes, and how I was so willing to work on them. And so at that point, I got that satisfaction to know that I'm in the right business and I'm doing good.
Ever since you started, where is the farthest that you've been able to deliver your products?
I've delivered my products past Meru to Isiolo. I've delivered my products some to Ruiru. I go up to Ruiru, Muranga, I think Machakos. There's a time we had an order in Machakos for the whole of Law.
So it's basically opening up in other areas as well. Would you say there are risks that you took to start this business that you will advise someone to take as well, not to fear to go and pursue those risks?
It was a risk for me in the first place to get into this business. I knew nothing completely about construction, nothing about cement, nothing. But I decided to take the risk because I had someone. But okay, it's good when you have someone who's supporting you and telling you you can make it. So I decided to take the risk. We invested. We were not sure it will peak. With the big companies in Nairobi, you see, you check on what you're starting and the deliveries they're making, you'd see trailers moving with the cabros, and you've started small.
Yeah.
So the risk was big. Talk of finances, talk of the time, and even my ability to like go into that market with no knowledge in construction. But this far, I can say we made it.
What will you say is that one thing that keeps you at the top of your game? Because there are other people actually doing this kind of business. But what keeps you? What makes someone say, "Nataka kuendeleza Nguvu Precast"?
I base my products with quality. I really go for the high quality. Yeah? So with the raw materials, where we get them, we make sure we get the best. We try to get the best. We try to make the best products. That's why we invested in a bigger machine that has more capacity and better performance in terms of production. So we check on production basically with the raw materials, with the stuff I have, with the time, and we just have to make sure the quality is on point.
Yeah. So being in this business, has it taught you anything as a person and as a woman? Because actually not all women will, mimi niende kwa mchanga, mimi. Has it taught you something as a person and as a lady?
Yeah, the first thing that it's taught me is perseverance. Yes, as you've said, I was not really open to the idea of getting out of an office and coming to this site where there's dust, there's a lot of sun.
It's dust from start to finish.
Yes, I'm out in the sun. I can't, with the office, you can't even go, you can't come to this site in hills and all, and I was used to that life. But you see, this, what I'm doing here, the satisfaction I'm getting, it has taught me, for one, perseverance. It has taught me to want to learn more, because I can't say 2019, I was so fresh in this, but now I'm still learning a lot, and I'm aiming for higher things. So the very main thing that it has taught me is perseverance and the will to learn and do more.
What will you say to someone who wants to start this business? Maybe it's a young lady who also says, mimi ndio huyo engineer nataka kwenda kuanza. What will you say to them? What is that advice that you will give to that person?
The advice I'd give, don't be afraid to do what you feel your heart wants to.
Yeah.
So when I left my job at the office, because I quit my job to come here, I was not sure I'd make it. And I was not sure I was comfortable with these are business that is okay. These are industry that is dominated by men,
yes,
so to say. But I was not sure, because even the clientele, I used to get clientele who'd come here and ask who's the boss, and I'm here and they're like, are you sure? But if you know you want to do something, you just have to get out of your house in the morning and make a decision. Whatever you want to do, you want to have returns. By the time you're getting back home, you have to have something positive that you'd have done.
Yes.
For me, I'd like to tell people, like, go learn, go out and take a risk. You learn something more. You're going to navigate more areas that probably are not to your suitable liking, but if you have the will and the willpower, you can do anything.
Yeah. You've actually termed it quite well that this is a male-dominated industry. Has it ever gotten to a point that a client will come, find a lady like, madam, ni wewe unauza ama kuna mtu mwingine? And how are you able to deal with that kind of a situation?
It happens, not once, it happens. But I think now with what I've learned, all the customer needs to know is, can you answer my questions? Can you let me know what I need? Can I get the knowledge or the product I want with all the full information? So if the client comes and they ask me the questions and I'm able to deliver the responses, the correct responses, and answer to their needs, that is what builds the confidence. So I've been here, I've had those comments. People will come and tell me, I found a lady, is there someone else who can explain this? But when you explain with the confidence, and because I know, okay, most of the things I've learned and I know them, so it gets to a point and you just build the confidence depending with how you answer that person, that client, and how you get to deliver to their needs. Yeah.
So for the few minutes that I've been here, I've been able to see your relationship with your employees actually. How have you been able to create that niche around it to make it more workable for them, to be able to be more free with you?
I'd say I also like the fact that I was in the HR industry before. So it was personnel interactions. So with these people, with this staff of mine, some of them we've been with them since I think almost the start, and we're still with them. It's just how we relate with the interpersonal skills are what I basically major on, because these people are the ones who will make my business rise. They are the ones I work with every day. I spend most of my time with them. Yeah. And for me to maintain them and for me to reduce the turnover and all, I have to know I'm working with these people. How do I relate with them? How do they relate with me? Is it a comfortable environment? So how do we build each other? Because at the end of the day, they'll have built me and I'll have built them. Yeah. So it's just a matter of being your brother, sister's keeper.
Yeah. So where would one get you if you want to get in touch with you or rather to buy your products? How would one get in contact?
First, my site is here in Mwea, Gurubani, opposite Nice Digital City. I'm usually here almost all the time. And also, there are my contacts. My contact is 0724 84 8281. Also, 0723 288 539. Those are also our contacts. You can get me through that. If you want to visit the site, Mwea, opposite Nice Digital City, you'll get us there.
Thank you so much. Well, that is all the time we had for you today here on The Grind. We've been talking to Caroline, who is the CEO of Nguvu Precast, a woman prospering in a male-dominated industry. Until next time when you talk to another business, another entrepreneur, my name is Violet Njeri. See you soon.
We value your feedback. If you would like to send questions, comments, or suggestions for your favorite TV47 shows, call us on telephone number 0740-047-047 or email us at maoni@tv47.co.ke. You can also write to us on PO Box 2358/00621, Nairobi. You can also drop your complaint or feedback at our offices located at number 10 Ojija Close off Ojija Road, Parklands, Nairobi.